What is up, everybody? Welcome to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. It's Travis, and you know the drill. It's a Monday afternoon, October 1st, 2018. I am, once again, sadly sober, but that being said, I have good news. It's October, just like I just said, and October means horror. And for me, that meant heading over to my local Cinemark, which is like not even 5 miles down the road from me. I could walk there if I had the time. And watching a new movie with my Movie Pass. Yes, that Movie Pass, the one that most people know, called Hellfest. And this is a movie that attracted my eye a few months ago. Maybe I was watching maybe I was watching the first Purge. Some other horror movie. They had a preview for this, and I was like, "Damn, I need to see that." It's a great idea. It feels like, like if there's a slasher at Universal Horror Nights, which it's a cheap plug. I will be there next week. But yeah, I mean, that's what it made me think of, and I think that's what they were going for. So some non-spoiler things here, spoiler-free all the way, doing my absolute best here to not ruin the movie, but give people an idea as to whether they want to see the movie or not. So I love the concept. It's a pretty simple concept. I'll just read you the synopsis real quick. A mass serial killer turns a horror-themed amusement park into his own personal playground, terrorizing a group of friends while the rest of the patrons believe that it's all part of the show. Now, in the previews, I saw multiple cameos by Tony Todd, a.k.a. Candyman, also known as Reverend Zombie in the Hatchet series, or you can go back to the Night of the Living Dead 1990 remake by Tom Savini, where he plays Ben in the remake. But he doesn't play a huge part in this movie, but it's fun to have him. He did have a lot of voice parts in this as well. I mean, he's playing the same person throughout, but his voice is in the movie a lot. In the same way that if you watch Final Destination 3 in the amusement park, you will hear Tony Todd's voice. So you get kind of the same thing here, which is fun. And unlike Final Destination 3, to my knowledge, they did not actually you did not actually see Tony Todd, whereas like in Final Destination and Final Destination 2, you do. Definitely in the first one. I'm pretty sure in the second one. I have to go back and watch, but I'm almost positive. So he's back in this. Kind of a similar concept here. Again, we've got a slasher in an amusement park, but it's not your typical amusement park. It's not like somebody slashing and thrashing their way through Disney World. No, this is a nighttime attraction type place. It's not one haunted house. It's many. It's an entire amusement park. For those that aren't scared of that type of thing. Again, I hate to keep going back to it, but like Universal Horror Nights in Orlando, or even Hollywood. I hear not as good as the Orlando one, which is nice because I'm going to the Orlando one for the second year straight, but that's just the word I've heard. Anyway, this movie, I've heard a lot of people shit on it in the AMC A-list groups and the Movie Pass groups. Not a lot of love for this movie, but I have seen a little bit of love in like the Horror Nights groups and some other ones. But here's my thoughts on the movie. And again, this will be spoiler free, so don't worry if you're worried about that. It is a movie that definitely takes place in 2018, and what I mean by that is if you saw Jigsaw, for instance, while Jigsaw was not exactly PG-13, if you compare it to the other Saw movies, it's a millennial version of Saw. I don't know any other way to describe it other than it's like a toned-down version. You don't get the fucked up kill scenes, the gore. I mean, I don't recall any moment in Jigsaw when I was like, ugh, and just hard to watch. I remember that in every single Saw movie except for Jigsaw. And so that tells you something about where cinema has gone in recent years. Now, the PG-13 horror, while this is rated R, it feels more like PG-13 to me because I don't feel like they went balls to the wall. I'm actually surprised looking at it that it is rated R because it didn't feel rated R to me. There were a couple of kills that were pretty fucking violent in the movie, and yes, we did get, set them up, knock them down type of scenario here. It's an hour and a half movie, but it's not one where I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was watching a rated R movie. It felt more like Happy Death Day. And again, no knock on Happy Death Day. If you've heard us talk about it, we loved Happy Death Day, but it was kind of its own little thing. It was Groundhog Day in a horror movie. But Hellfest, it felt like it should have gone a little bit harder than what it did. Does that mean I didn't like it? No, that's not what it means. I'm just saying, 15 years ago, the movie would have been better than what it was. Again, I'm just surprised this is a rated R movie. When I watch it, you get no nudity. There's a couple of gory scenes. I mean, I guess there was profanity, but I don't really remember anything specific too much. So, I mean, I guess the little bit of gore we got, and they were really good kills for the two we got that I thought were good. They just, they didn't blow me away or anything. There was good to it for sure. In the end, though, I don't know if this movie's going to get a sequel. I hope it does, and if they do, I kind of hope they go the way of how Halloween transitioned from a movie that was about suspense to violence. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the first Halloween more than any of the others, but I like the fact that they upped the graphic violence in the second one, and I'm kind of hoping they would do that with this if there is to be a sequel. Won't say whether or not that there is an open door for a sequel. It's a slasher, and that's the only speculation I'm giving here. So, if you enjoy slashers and you're not expecting too much, as far as the over-the-top kills and that type of thing, you'll probably like this. You still get stupid characters. You get people I don't give a shit about. So don't expect a deep movie. My thoughts on it are simple. I mean, it's October 1st. It was time to see a horror movie. I have Movie Pass and AMC A-List. So one way or another, I was going to see this movie. It just so happened that it was close to me. Movie Pass actually let me go see this fucking movie, which is nice. And so I did at 12:05 today on my lunch. For Movie Pass, it was worth seeing. If I had to pay out of pocket for it, it would definitely be a matinee type movie. Not worth a lot of money. It's nothing spectacular. It's cool that Tony Todd was in it, but don't expect him to play a huge role in the movie. So if you're going strictly for Tony Todd, maybe wait for DVD or Blu-ray, or Redbox it, or digital download, whatever you got to do. Worth seeing. Don't go out of your way to see it. It's kind of like The Nun, kind of like The Predator. Where could I go else with this? A lot of these movies lately that we've talked about have felt like that. Lizzie's another one. I just like seeing a Lizzie, Borden movie in the theaters. So that's just me. Maybe you have different thoughts. If you do, you can email them to us, tnvhorror@gmail.com. I should give my Machete rating since you fucking tuned into the show. 2.5. No, 2 3/4 out of 4 machetes for me. So 2.75 machetes out of 4. It was good enough to where it wasn't 2.5, but it's not quite 3. I feel like it was just missing something. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe a little bit more graphic violence. The suspense was there. I'll give it that. But again, you can tweet us, Trav and Vic Horror, on Twitter, and you can Instagram us, same way. Facebook, we're on there, Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. We'll be back tomorrow with the 1985 show, finally. Everybody seems to have their ducks in a row for that one. So we'll have our top 10 of 1985. Blake, Vic, and me will all be doing it. And then next week, I will be in Florida for Universal Horror Nights. If you want to check our Facebook page, you'll actually see Vic's Facebook live feed from last week when he was there. One correction on my end, I didn't think he did it, which he actually did the next day. So my apologies to Vic and to anybody who listened. I'll be doing a live video. I'm going to try to do a live video from Salem also. So hopefully everybody's prepared that. Keep checking our Facebook page. I'm sure you'll get a notification unless you've turned them off. But otherwise, you can tweet me, since this is kind of a me episode, at PhenomenalTLD, and give your thoughts on the movie. Maybe we can argue about it, or maybe we can just agree. Or maybe we can agree to disagree. Anyway, that's all I've got till tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this solo version of Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. This solo, sober version of Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. Again, back tomorrow night, the usual same bat time, bat channel. Thanks for listening. Peace. Have a good Monday. And happy October. First day of Halloween, is the way we see it. Later.